Hello and welcome to the WBAP 820 570 KLIF Weather Podcast for Thursday, August 25th. I'm Chief Meteorologist Brad Barton at the Cumulus Media Center in Dallas-Fort Worth. It's already been quite a week here in Dallas-Fort Worth with what really amounted to a 100-year flood. We picked up 9.19 inches of rain in a 24-hour period from 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon to 3 o'clock Monday afternoon. 9.19. You probably saw a lot of the pictures and that sort of thing, heard a lot of our coverage. Sadly, we did have one fatality in that flood and hundreds and hundreds of high water rescues. Hopefully people have learned, if you can't tell how deep the water is, turn around, don't drown. I mean, that's the slogan from the National Weather Service. Turn around, don't drown. Don't get out in it if you don't have to, that is for sure. But at any rate, this was our second highest 24-hour rainfall total. Back in 1932, Dallas-Fort Worth had an even bigger flood over September 4th and 5th that dropped 9.5 inches, 9.57 inches to be exact, in a 24-hour period. So we had our second biggest 24-hour rainfall on record Sunday and Monday. By the way, Alvin, Texas, home of the Express, Hall of Famer Nolan Ryan, and, by the way, NASA. Alvin, Texas picked up over 42 inches of rain in 24 hours. 42 inches of rain in 24 hours from Tropical Storm Claudette back in 1979. Oh, and besides all that, our rainfall this week gave us our wettest August on record at 10.38 inches of rain, and we still have about a week to go in this month, and prospects are good for adding a little bit more to that total, okay? All right, let's check out the morning satellite loop. We could see some rain clouds on the Texas coast. We're also still able to see the counterclockwise rotation of a surface low over Louisiana, moving on into Tennessee, and that was part of our big rain system. Now let's check the national radar. Quite a bit of rain along the Gulf Coast into the Carolinas. Tell you what, the Gulf is like bathwater right now. There's a lot of heat energy in the Gulf of Mexico, and the tropics are heating up, and I think our very quiet Caribbean, Gulf, Atlantic hurricane season is fixed to get pretty busy. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. But anyway, quite a bit of rain along the Gulf Coast up into the Carolinas, some rain in the Great Lakes. Looks like a little summer monsoon has dried up out west, and a little rain in Montana, Wyoming, a fairly heavy storm around Des Moines today. Now let's look at the upper levels of the atmosphere for the next several days. For at least the next 3 or 4 days, we're going to be in what we call a zonal pattern, where the storm systems move pretty much from west to east across the continental United States. But by the middle of next week, an upper level low drops on into Texas and could produce some storms in Texas and the Great Plains around the end of August, beginning of September. Now here's the same model, but with predicted rainfall, okay? We were looking at the upper level model. Now we're looking at predicted rainfall from the same model. So again, that storm system next week could add to our August rainfall total. And we'll zoom in on that now. Let's notice the rain near the Texas coast and then the rain north of Texas associated with that storm system. Okay, now I'm going to show you the same model, but we're going to pick it up where the last model left off, about September 1st. So we're going to pick it up September 2nd, and it goes through September 5th, about 10 days out. And if this model is correct, sure looks like a tropical storm or a hurricane coming up out of the Gulf right on into North Texas. Now, that's again around September 4th and 5th. Now, again, that's way out at the end of this 10-day model, and this model could be way, way off. But I'm also seeing some tropical weather models indicating activity in the Gulf of Mexico, and fairly soon. Now, whether that comes into Texas or whether it goes into Louisiana, I can't tell you. But this particular model, this global forecast system model, does have rain moving into Texas and on something tropical. So we'll see what happens here in a couple of weeks. Now, let's run through the surface map starting on Saturday, this coming Saturday. Heavy coastal rains and also some rain in the upper Midwest states. Rainfall increasing on Sunday, and that could include maybe some widely scattered showers and storms in north and northeast Texas Sunday afternoon. More so on Monday. Again, the heaviest rains are going to be along the Gulf Coast, but quite a bit of rain farther north and more in Texas. Now, here's Tuesday. Here's where we could see some heavier rains along the Texas coast and widespread rains across Texas. And again, this is where you remember that little storm system that came down through the Midwest? That could be involved here, and still more rain on Wednesday, August 31st. So we could easily add to our August rainfall total, which is already a record at 10.38 inches. And on September 1st, it looks like a little rain as well. Okay, so here's our forecast. Today, mostly sunny, warm, and humid with a high of 91, at least with the humidity that you get from 9 inches of rain. It's going to keep the temperatures somewhat moderate, although the humidity itself is going to be a little uncomfortable. Of course, it's going to be tough to mow, too. Oh, the grass is just going crazy right now. We're looking at a high around 91 this afternoon, north winds 5 to 10, fair and 72 overnight. Then mostly sunny, warm, and humid, 90 for the high tomorrow, light variable winds. Saturday, we'll say partly cloudy, warm, and humid. We'll throw in maybe 20% coverage of isolated afternoon thunderstorms on Saturday with a high near 90, and maybe 20 to 30% coverage on Sunday with a high near 90, and maybe a little more rain Monday on into Tuesday. So be prepared for a little more rain early next week. Thanks again for joining us for the WBAP 820 570 KLIF Weather Podcast for August 25th. Now, I'm going to take next week off, so we will see you 2 weeks from today. Take care. Bye-bye.